Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to week 3 of the LCUS. My name is Kenos, and I am joined, as always, by my lovely comrades in arms, Nickelbacher and Sigtau Lord. How you guys doing today?
You're making me blush, man.
Oh,
Lovely.
I'm fantastic. How are you?
Oh, I'm ready to get things rocking and rolling. So this week's set of games that we have Option 12 versus Cowbell, then Take the Lantern versus Phoenix, and White Wolf versus Blitzkrieg. Pop over the standings real quick. We have Option 12 very dominantly in first place, so I'm excited to see if Cowbell can do something about that. Um, then a tie for second between Northern Storm and Take the Lantern. Northern Storm is actually on a bye week this week, for those of you who didn't do the math at home as to who wasn't playing. So we'll see where they are in the positions once today is over. And then we have Phoenix, Cowbell, and White Wolf in the rest of the order. And Blitzkrieg definitely looking for some redemption today as they're currently sitting at the bottom with 0 points. But Sig, let me start with you. Let's talk about this first game. Option 12 versus Cowbell. What are your thoughts?
I am always excited to see I don't want to say my favorite, but the most synergist bot lane in the LCUS, Brandana and Mr. Pig playing. So I'm excited for them and Shaden to bring the noise with Cowbell. But Lice, Truffle, Prowler, Menards, and Ashway have really been on the ball this split. I'm excited to see where they're going next.
Yeah, definitely. What about you, Nickel? Anything you're looking out for?
Pretty much the same, but going to speak probably for everybody here. Hopefully, we can see that Cowbell gives Option 12 a little bit of an upset because, as you said, they have a pretty commanding lead. So I'm going to be looking at game one to see what Cowbell can bring up to the plate.
Yeah, definitely. Everyone, people like winners, but people like seeing winners get knocked down a peg or two sometimes too.
Exactly.
So we'll see once the game gets started if Cowbell is able to pull that out. I think they definitely have a chance at it. Like you said, they do have a very commanding bot lane combo. But Menards and Ashway have been doing some real magic for option 12, so we'll see how that bot lane matchup works out. Um, and of course, then top lane is always interesting, seeing what direction Prowler decides to take it. But we will have to see as everyone's trying to get the game rolling here. And then later matchups, like we said, we do have Heath Lantern versus Phoenix, which will be a good battle there. And I really do want to see how Blitzkrieg has reset after their bye week. Actually, technically 2 bye weeks in a row because we did have off for Mother's Day to see if they figured out some things. Because they did really well in week 1. They just never really seemed to find a way to close out the game. So if they manage to do that this week, then I think that White Wolf will have to keep their eyes open. But we will see about that as we are waiting for the game to get rolling. Sig, for the what kind of bans do you think we're going to expect? Because we both have two very dominant bot lanes here. You think it's going to be focused on the bot lane, or they're going to try to shut the other lanes out?
Um, I think there is going to be some major changes with team dynamics because we're seeing a whole lot of changes in the meta, especially in the jungle, with these changes to how the scuttle is going to work, with changes to team gold bonuses after a slay. So we're just going to have to see how that plays out. But in the bot lane, I think it's going to be standard meta, pretty standard stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, if you say it's going to be standard stuff, do you think that's going to be a target?
Uh, I don't think we're going to see any targeted bans more than we already see for Brandana. So a lot of Twitch bans. I think we'll see that come across.
hmm Yeah, like you said, with the great thing about a digital game that's constantly being updated is that there's all the little changes and all the patches that end up changing basically everything every so often, and so the players have to definitely keep that in mind, which is of course why the planning and all other things of that nature are really good to stay on the up and up about who's going to be doing what. It'd be really embarrassing to see someone, pick up a character and think the power level is at a completely different place than where it actually is. Like with some of the changes, I'm just going to throw like Scion or something like that, who's had a little bit of adjustment to some of his abilities. But we'll have to see. Having a couple players joining in a little bit later here, so just bear with us, folks. All right, and then how about the mid lane matchup? Nick, you want to tell me a little bit about that? Because we've been talking about the bot lane all the time. It only seems fair to spread the love around.
It's going to be interesting to say the least. Boy, having a time remembering option 12 and Cowbell's mid lane, but
if I was going to step in and give you the big old tap,
tap in.
I think Lice definitely has a huge edge over CB Hickey. Hickey is no stranger to danger. He's done well in other lanes, but this just hasn't been his split so far. They have had a long break, so I don't know what kind of practice he's got in. But Lice is such a dominating force. It's gonna be CB Hickey's uphill battle to fight.
Yeah, I was definitely thinking about that quite a bit. Hickey for sure has been having some issues. They did do reasonably well in week 1, but I just I just hope that they find better footing. I guess is the extent that I'll say about that, because it's just gonna have to be a wait and see. But we are finally moving into the first set of the game, or the week, I should say. So here we go, option 12 versus Cowbell.
I will say one thing, just ban Iceberg. That's all you need to know.
Well,
That
that's
is the constant LCUS meta.
Yeah, we'll see if they think to do that or not. We've seen her slip through once or twice already so far, and it's only week 3. Well, not slip through this game. Do get the Kai'Sa ban as well. I know that's been showing up and causing some havoc. See if they kind of, because I mean, Kai'Sa does have a little bit of flex opportunities. Not a lot, but I think I know some people still kind of like to play her top lane.
Eventually.
Get a mid ban out there. Hickey, I believe, does like Veigar quite a bit, and taking that Jhin out.
I really do like the Jhin ban here. It's definitely going to put Menards in a situation where he has to make some hard decisions in what he's going to play.
Alright. So, definitely bans that are spread around for option 12 here, taking out top, mid, and theoretically bot lane. And also actually for Cowbell. So, definitely, yeah, like you said, not so much focus, it's just spreading the deck out.
Oh yeah. Now it is important to point out that option 12 is losing their tier 2 bans this game because of a pause issue, not last week but the week prior.
Well, everyone had to pause issues last week because we weren't playing.
Yeah, a very long pause. I hope someone ended that.
All right, so we have ADCs locked in first here, Caitlyn versus Ezreal. Definitely be interesting to see how well they are able to use Ezreal's range abilities to counter Caitlyn's range, just general existence. And Zac is a jungle, which has been a very popular pick in the LCUS so far. Always nice to see Zac. Also always funny to see him get banned after he's picked the first time, so we'll see if that continues. Ooh! If they'd hovered Ivern, I would have said that that was a troll hover, but they're actually going with him. Anyone want to have some knee-jerk reactions to that? I heard you snort, Nickel.
That's my knee-jerk reaction.
I really don't think it's that much of a troll pick. With the changes that came to the Runic Echoes Smite item for the jungle, he did see a CDR reduction, which is a big benefit to Ivern.
Well, yeah, I mean, my point was that I would have called it a troll pick if he was hovering on it for 45 seconds, but since he just instantly locked it in, I'm excited to see Ivern put some moves down there. Now, we have seen Morgana mid once or twice in the LCUS lately. Do you think this is a support Morgana or a mid Morgana, Sig?
Honestly, I think it's a mid. If you see, Lice has went to Smite. where Smite is currently a meta for the mid lane with this Runic Echoes. So we could be seeing a double Runic Echoes, but looks like Lyce is rotating out some of his summoners. I could be wrong, but Smite mid lane is definitely a thing, and Morgana, not the worst choice for her.
Yeah, I think switching to Cleanse is not a bad idea either, though, against Galio with some of his taunt abilities and things of that nature. Assuming Galio's mid lane and not top.
Yeah. I think we will see it in the mid lane, though.
All right.
It definitely is meta.
It is worth noting that Cowbell doesn't seem to agree with you since they decided to ban Orianna. So we'll see if you or Cowbell's right. Let's see who the last ban is here. And once
Hard
again,
to ban against the flex pick like that.
yeah, it really
You don't
is.
see it so randomized that. Rarely see Morgana in the mid lane.
Yeah, flex picks are always interesting with all the different roles they have. Good tactical picks, especially early on, because then you get to lock out those bans.
Yep.
This is once again when I recommend that they just ban like Akali or something, but then someone's gonna start picking Akali. So what do I know? I apologize, Aatrox. Just again. All right, but the skipped bans are over, and now we'll move into the final phase here. Looking for most likely a top lane and support for Cowbell, assuming Galio's mid. And then option 12, depending on where Morgana is, we're looking at either a mid laner or a support, and then also a top laner. So let's see what we got here coming out of Brandana picking for his team. Alright, top laner Renekton, so it definitely means Galio's mid. Interesting picking the Renekton first. I think you might want to save your top lane pick for the last pick, but I'm sure they know what they're doing.
Have an inkling of a plan.
Alright, so
Hopefully.
Ornn will be top lane then for option 12. Haven't seen him in a while, so good to see Ornn coming back. And then the last pick will either be the support or mid laner.
There's a chance this is support Ornn if that's mid Morgana.
That's true. I was kind of thinking, how does Ornn stack up against Renekton?
And then Kindred suddenly. Okay.
Let's.
Alright, mid lane Kindred? I don't know.
I hear Sig's brain breaking.
Yeah.
Kindred did just get a buff. I mean, Kindred mid's not the worst thing on earth, and I think it. Well, Kindred support. Maybe they went for a kill lane.
Maybe.
I mean, it's actual way.
Is that an?
There we go.
Okay, it is Kindred mid with Smite,
Alright.
or Ivern mid with Smite.
Alright.
One of the younger folk, definitely the mid laner.
Alright, so Cowbell got bamboozled there and wasted a ban on a mid laner. Or it actually didn't waste a ban on the mid laner because the mid laner hadn't been picked yet. So good knockout there, read by Cowbell. I'd be funny to see if suddenly we have Truffle playing mid. That'd be hilarious. Mid Ivern. Look out, Galio. Probably not.
It would be against the rules, but it would be funny. I mean, they're willing to accept the punishment. I mean, you do you.
We've seen weirder things.
Kindred mid. I'm excited to see this. This is some option 12 pulling a White Wolf right now.
Yeah,
For sure.
doing a lot of interesting things in this first game, getting Ivern and Kindred. I think this is both their LCUS firsts. I could be wrong.
I believe you're right. I mean, their bot lane and top lane is pretty standard, but these mid lanes in the jungle, because I mean, Ivern, we all have feelings about Ivern, but
I love the dude. I think he's amazing.
You're a tree hugger, aren't you?
Oh yeah, filthy tree hugger. I mean, trust me, if I ever saw Ivern in real life, I would have a panic attack like a 3-year-old at Disney.
I just like his walking animation. It's just so happy.
Yeah.
I speak for the trees.
All right, so I want someone to talk about this this Kindred Galio matchup, and since I heard Sig's brain burst earlier, I'm going to ask you, Nickel. What do you think about Kindred versus Galio?
Um. Anyways, it's going to be an interesting matchup. I mean, Galio is a pretty standard mid laner, as everybody knows. It's going to be interesting to see if he's going to be as aggressive, because I feel like that Kindred might have a little bit of a benefit to that. But I feel like that with her being so squishy, if Galio gets early kills, then it's gonna be an interesting lane. That's all I'm gonna say. I feel like it's gonna be kind of a boring matchup early game, them just trying to farm up. But
I'm also
later in the game, team fight potential with Kindred. It's with the heal and everything. But depending on how Liz builds the wolf, he, she, whatever, they're both the same. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna say.
I'm interested to see how, like you said, once the team fights start coming out, how that works out, because there's a lot of durability on Cowbell compared to option 12.
Correct.
All option 12 really has going for them in the durability department is Ornn. Meanwhile, Cowbell has at least, I'm going to say, 2.5 tanks worth of stats.
I would give it to full Braum, I think, and depending on how Renekton builds.
So, you know, that's going to be really interesting. We've seen teams going up against multiple tank builds, especially if their ADC doesn't manage to get fed in any sort of capacity, just absolutely get shut down. And we'll have to see if that befalls option 12 or not. But I have to imagine they aren't just pulling out Kindred and Ivern on a whim. So seeing what they have cooked up with these characters will be very interesting.
And quick tidbit from chat, Ace let everybody know that they actually practiced that today. I assume he's referring to option 12 with the Kindred of Vern pick there.
Well, I guess that will be exciting to see in action as the final seconds tick down here and we move into our first game.
It must have been good for them.
Or they just want to show it off either way.
Yeah, one or the other. You know, a little bit of A, a little bit of B.
Alright, so we'll see if there's any sort of special new skins, or if they're just going to have no skins, which would just be boring. We wouldn't want to be boring, would we?
Skins, it wins.
Once the skins load up, come on.
Who's a good PC?
Here we go.
Who's a good PC?
Oh, they are new skins. Nice.
Oh, look at that Candy King Ivern. Oh, classic.
Player.
Yeah, and looks like I'm gonna give this to option 12. They're rocking a full outfit, but Galio's standing there a little naked, y'all.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, I would agree. Thunderlord Ornn, always nice to see that. And I mean, mostly, you know, some skins we don't see as often, especially because 2 of the champions never show up.
If you held a gun to my head and said, Sig, name a kindred skin or I'm going to kill you and everyone you care about, it'd probably be quicker for me to tell you what I want on my epitaph.
Well, now you know Shadowfire is one of them, so I won't have to kill your family. Alright, so now that the game is loaded up, we'll wait for the champions to load up and we'll get rocking here. See everyone already buying items. A couple of nice emotes there. Alright, so we'll see where the teams decide to go to start this off, if they go for any sort of early invade. It looks as though that's what option 12 is thinking about. Some classic aggression there, and a lot of emoting. I guess Lismakis has played a little bit of Kindred. So we'll see if they get anybody here. Prowler's gonna probably get spotted here. Or Ashway will. Ashway's definitely spotted right here. Mr. Pig, you better look out! Pig wasn't looking. And that's a quick first blood. Okay. So that happened.
They're staying. Maybe. No, they're not.
Alright, a little bit of wandering here. Looks like Shaden might be thinking of doing something too. Nope. Alright, so Kindred is going back with the lovely first blood gold and all that entails. Probably might be in a little bit of trouble here. Shakeson's coming in, a little bit of stun, a little bit of collapse. Let's see how the damage output is here. Probably gonna blow flash. Does. And this will probably be a lost blue buff. Kindred's coming to try to help.
It's gonna be a smite fight.
That's a nice thing with your mid laner having smite. Rotate over here. Does get it. Uh-oh.
Zac goes out.
Yeah, gets the Zac passive. This could be a dead Zac. I'm surprised Shaden's not trying to help a little bit. Alright, so this is not going well for Cowbell already, unfortunately. 2 kills in the bank, and we're only at 2 minutes. And both for the mid laner besides, so Hickey's going to be at a definite disadvantage there. But let's check the other lanes. Shading a little bit of damage there due to the early aggression. Prowler is down his flash, but that probably won't matter too much here. Ivern steals blue after setting up some nice jungle things here, but now Truffle's in a lot of trouble. Truffle will probably go down. Brandana almost was out of position there, but managed to catch back up. I think Truffle's going to get away, though.
Yeah, I would definitely prioritize letting that go, protecting your jungle over trying to get that fight going. Because if we would have seen that option 12 bot lane rotate up, it could have been bad news, and they do not want any more kills going over to Cowbell right now.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to see how these bot lanes go. Brandana's taking a lot of damage early on here. Some of that poke from Caitlyn really doing a number. And LCUS is taking advantage of using a jungle champion to jungle a little bit. Getting that crab farm.
And we're going to see more and more of that. It's kind of disheartening as you see the emphasis of the jungler go away from the jungle, as anyone can roam in and prioritize these scuttle crabs with the changes that they made. So it is a little disheartening, but this could be a new meta.
A little bit of poke coming out there from LCUS, but Hickey's staying in it. Ooh, very close prison there by Ashway. More poke coming down here. Hickey might be in a little bit of trouble here. Does flash away at the last second, getting away from that wolf. But bot lane fights also continue. Brandana continues taking damage. Ooh, very low. You should get out of there. Run, ADC, run. You can do it. He's not listening.
Yeah, and right now, it looks like he is running Kleptomancy, so he might not be forced out of lane quite yet.
Top lane having a little bit of fight, shading pretty low. Ooh, big fight going up here now with the Zac caught out. Here comes Hickey trying to help out. Does look like he's going to be able to. A lot of damage getting put down on both mid laners. Shaken trying to come back. Does channel. A little bit of miscommunication there, it seems like.
Yeah, this is not very good. I would have left out of there. With passive down, definitely not worth it. Ooh-wee.
Alright, so we have a very fed Kindred here, everyone.
And with situations like this, outside of early game aggression, we really can't evaluate how well this lane would have went on an even one-to-one matchup, because Kindred is just so far ahead in CS and in kills.
Indeed, and I'm actually wondering then if, once Shaden's done getting the fight here, if they'll ban out Kindred, or if they'll take this as a fluke and let Kindred possibly get played again in Game 2.
Well, I think Hickey's more than capable of, with the correct, with a different pick. This really isn't a good matchup for Galio, to be honest. If a different pick, he could probably very, very easily handle this lane. But
well, looks like they're setting up for Dragon. Or Ocean Drake first will be very helpful.
And they're giving the scuttle over again to Kindred. Lice becoming a heavy priority.
Yeah, I mean, might as well. Once the Fed train's going, might as well keep it rolling. Poor Ivern, not friends with the dragon. Alright, we do have Zac rotating here, maybe trying to get a little bit of redemption, but Shaden forces him back a little bit. Dragon will be taken out in just a second here. Alright, Ocean Drake first. See if Brandana's able to cut anybody off here. Good route by Ashway. Alright, and just some more basic damage. Hickey dashes out. That red buff doing a lot of work there for Lismachus. Not seeing a lot of wards. I mean, there is a little bit of focus around the lower river here. For the most part, the wards have been pretty scarce.
Yeah, no, I don't think option 12's worried much about the top lane right now. Shaden, one of the cornerstones of the team, definitely the priority series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
right now, you wouldn't know that though. He's a little bit behind.
Yeah, little behind. There's been a little bit of focus. Plus, Ornn has that little bit of extra gold from 2 assists, which is, you know, slanting things a little bit as well. About 100 gold lead. Now 70, so maybe not that much. Especially now that Shaden's gotten the gold, CS lead back. But look at that mid lane. It's insane. 1,700 gold difference in 7 minutes. It's all lining up. A little bit of rotation here. Gonna pick off this red ward. Yeah, Shaden's taking a lot of, I'm not gonna say unnecessary damage, but problematic damage.
I'm intrigued by the static shiv as first item on Kindred. I really thought you would have went more of a damage item, but I guess he's prioritizing crit. It's a mid Kindred build, folks. We're not exactly experts.
Oh. Alright, so here comes the Kindred gank. Ooh, bad angle there on the headbutt. Probably would have gotten away anyway. Request for stacks on Kindred. We'll have Kindred open for a little bit. Alright, we'll see how Hickey does in this lane, especially since Kindred now has, as you said, static shiv, so first big item. Does manage to escape pretty easily. A little more damage. The lack of that red buff, or that red buff being gone now, is very fortunate there. I don't know, maybe a misclick there? Seemed interesting that he threw the ignite down.
Perhaps we did see Hickey going very, very low, having to use his flash to escape like Seamus. Lice in the mid lane. Never gonna get that. 3 splits now, folks. 3 splits.
Alright, more damage going down on tower. Menards is 6, so Snipe is available. Brandana just hit 6 as well. So we could see some global ults coming down, which is always a lot of fun. And meanwhile, Truffle is just doing Ivern things. What Ivern things entail other than making friends with animals, I'm not entirely sure. Here comes a gank. We'll see if Zach's able to lock him out here. Here comes the jump. No ult, unfortunately, but yep, not even close to it. Hickey's taunt misses as well. Here comes the big friends to help out. Ooh, Hickey tries to get on there. Invincibility going on. Here comes the ult to try to escape. We'll see if Hickey's able to manage it. Nope.
That was very close. Ezreal almost snatched that right up.
Yeah.
On his own.
As Ezreal killing his own teammate. That'd be fun, but it's not Dota, unfortunately. No gold denial there.
Meta.
Alright, so Braum comes in, does land a very impressive ult. Here comes a big top lane ult, though. Brandana does get the first kill for Cowbell, but that seems like all that's going to happen for Cowbell there.
Yeah, just not much to answer there. There's such a commanding lead. 4K gold at 10 minutes. Definitely an item advantage for Team Option 12. I think the best thing they could have done is maybe let that tower go. Prioritize maybe contesting more some map objectives, such as Rift Herald. Might have been a better choice.
Well, we'll have to see. Looks like Shakens is desperate to get Lismachus here, and thanks to Shaden coming in, they do manage to get him. Could get a bit of a comeback here. Good double taunt there. Ashway was immune to it briefly, but that's not going to help her.
Ooh, and like that, Renekton turns into the river monster we know he is. Big meal for him, triple kill.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite parts of the game, which I've said a couple of times, is when the top laner starts showing up. And especially when a team is down for so long, and then suddenly there's a top laner, and there's a whole new dimension to the game. And
Yeah, says the top laner.
yeah, says the top laner. I'm totally unbiased. Anyway, so we have reduced down to about a 3k gold lead, which is sort of where it was before, but it's nice to see a little bit, a couple of kills up there on the board, and they're going for Truffle now, who got a little bit too far forward. Here comes Lismakis to try to help him out. Does get a redemption, a little bit of a heal. Lismakis changes his mind, leaves Ivern to his fate.
Yeah, nothing much to do there. That would have been a 4v2, and by the time Kindred really would have got involved, it would have been a 4v1.
Good long-range assault there by Menards, though. We'll see if ends up paying for it. Here comes Zac. Big ult would do wonders here, but they just have to settle for killing Menards without it. Ashby trying to make a run for it. Should be able to get there. Does manage to get there. And Mr. Pig gets to jump a little bit away as well. We'll see if they're actually able to get this dragon. There's a lot of weakness in terms of hit points on Cowbell here, and a lot of artillery that could be applied in this situation. Have to see what happens. Hickey taking down the red there. Here comes Truffle, trying to pull it out. Does manage to a little bit. Here comes the teleport from Shaden. Not Shaden. Prowler. Big ult there. Did manage to get the dragon, but at what cost? Tons of damage being put out. Does manage to take out Lismakis, though. And now Shaden is doing a lot of damage as well. CB Hickey finally taken out. Big Ezreal ult, though, is going to secure 2 of the kills. We'll see if Shaden's able to lock down this Caitlyn. Big stuns, big damage. Dead Caitlyn.
Don't call it a comeback, folks. We are now almost even in gold. Option 12 really not prioritizing their engagements very well, underestimating how the strength of this Cowbell team.
Yeah, there's a lot of CC, and the durability we're starting to see a lot come out as well. The durability that, as we mentioned before, is kind of lacking on Option 12's side. Alright, going for the Herald now as well. Probably will be uncontested.
That's this.
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be a unified push towards it, so they'll get that pretty easily and run home.
Shaden picks that up. Even more trouble for Prowler in the top lane.
Shaden might actually just pop it now. Yep. Oh, no, he's just teleporting. For 1 second there, I was like, okay. But saving it for a different time. Alright, so gold lead is now equal. Let's check out the gold itself. Let's check out some more Kindred here. Kindred with 4 marks. And still a 2,000 gold lead in the mid lane there. So Hickey's got a lot of catching up to do. Meanwhile, top lane has a 1,500 or so gold lead. But now we have a Kindred rotation. That tower is very weak, and Menards is focusing it down, so they gotta get out of there. Maybe not though. We got some pushes here as well. Good little snare there. Looks like this Marcus will get out.
Yeah,
Okay.
very strong disengage from option 12 there.
Yeah, and good.
Get what you want and leave.
And very good rotations by Cowbell to make sure that that fight didn't turn into something they didn't want. Alright. Meanwhile, all of the Renekton stuns are coming out of Shaden here. Prowler ults just to get him off his back. Does get a good knock up there, and turret aggro is now on there. Shaden's going to have to move quick and get out. And does.
Ooh. There's a reason that Renekton's stun is called Cull the Meek. You really can't gauge his health bar with that Q combo with the ultimate health boon. So difficult to manage.
Alright, but here comes the Herald, and just like that, everyone turns around to engage upon it. Good job shutting down that push in the mid lane by Shaden. And we'll see, it doesn't look like the Herald's going to be able to get anymore. With this Marcus here to shut it down in 2 shots. Okay. But we will, we'll have to see if they can take advantage of this somewhere else. Looks like the bot lane may end up going down for their second turret of the game. Two very quick turrets, and the gold lead will be in Cowbell's advantage by almost 1.5. Next dragon will be another Earth Drake as well. Mid lane, Truffle is here. Warning called out there for Hickey to get out. Couple of pings. Shaken a little out of position here. Of course, he's Zac, so Zac could just jump wherever he wants. Decides to engage. Big ult there. Amazing black shield by Ashway to help protect her ADC. Galio ult comes in, knocks up the Cupcake Man. Hickey going a little too deep, but should survive here. Zac ult is back up. Big Braum ult. Let's see what goes on here. Lasmachus running for his life. Brandana getting a lot of kill damage off here. Double kill, may get a triple. Ezreal ult is not up quite yet. Prowler on the run as well. Good slow there. Oh, missed that.
Redemption ult. The redemption item usage taking down Galio. Hickey probably not too pleased about that.
And Prowler does manage to get away. Alright, so let's see what happens here. Ezreal does have his ult up, but no one weak is really around for it. But yeah, I think we're once again seeing some of the durability really helping out there. I mean, Shaken, not obviously Zac's ult doing Zac ult thing has helped a lot as well. That's just another aspect of him having a good health pool, is being able to survive death.
Yeah, that passive that he has is very difficult to manage because you have to kill him not only twice, but you have to prioritize him in a team fight to make sure the kill even matters.
Have Shaden getting spotted doing some sneaky things here. Wisely, no one decides to go in on him, because he is the most fed person in this game. Though, it is worth noting that Brandana is getting there.
Yeah, Brandana really played from behind and incredibly strong. This just goes to show you, Kleptomancy is not out of the meta when it comes to Ezreal.
Alright, here comes that ult again. Ooh, big knockups there, but I don't know if they're going to be able to prioritize too much on here. Focusing all their damage on the tanks. Not sure I agree with that, and Brandana's making them pay for it. 2 kills there. Big ult chunking jungle and ADC, and here comes Shaden to clean up because he's Renekton. Alright, yeah, a little bit of lack of target priority coming out of Cowbell there. Not Cowbell, option 12 there.
Whoo! Ivern not safe.
Alright, so I'm gonna pop up in a crystal ball here and say that Renekton's gonna get banned in game 2.
I think that's a very good prophecy.
Have to see what sort of changes are being made. It's worth noting that while Kindred does have 4 assists, Kindred has not managed to get any kills since early game.
We do have an interesting comment that we did not catch. I think Ivern mismanaged his jungle pathing, considering Shaken forgot to buy an item level 1. We didn't catch that one, but that's pretty rough.
Yeah, especially considering how difficult it ended up. I mean, he got picked off pretty early as well, so there was just a lot of problems that Shaken was having early. One of those early kills there, but also has only died once since. So yeah, Cowbell's been doing a really good job picking up the pieces of what was a very, 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 very rough early game. Thanks in no small part to Shaden in the top lane. Just playing Renekton very well.
Yeah, 704. Difficult to argue that.
Yeah, we'll have to see what the what kind of answers do you think option 12 can bring here? I mean, obviously they're not out of the game yet, but the gold lead is starting to become a little unmanageable.
Yes, but where they're running in double ADC comp with the CC ability of Morgana, they're not out of this. There's as long as they don't see a lot of AD, a lot of armor build.
Especially with a team fight like this, they're going to get 3 kills at least here. I mean, I guess that's how you beat a team whose top laner is doing really well. Just fight them when the top laner's not there.
That'll do it.
That being said, though, I'm not sure how much they're going to get out of this. Brandana might be able to hold. Maybe not. He's getting a lot of slows on him. And the snipe. Ooh. Good flash there, almost getting taken out. But they barely even get... They probably only get this turret. Shaden gets away. I mean, they got a couple of kills, but Shaden got a lot more out of it than they did.
Yeah, that was a big benefit. Shaden won that trade there.
Alright, and Baron has obviously been up for a couple of minutes. No team feeling comfortable enough to go for it. Prowler in a lot of trouble, no turret to protect him. Does get a nice little knock up there, though, and here comes the Redemption to help out as well. Another ult, does get the knock up. The rest of his team isn't really there to help them. Some rotations here. It's still going to be a 5v3 though, best case scenario.
Yeah, Menard's definitely prioritizing farm, trying to get caught up and become that carry machine that Caitlyn can be.
Ooh, managed to avoid getting the slow there on Truffle. Let's see what happens here. Looks like they're setting up for another bigger team fight. Oops. Oh, what's the button? A lot of wards in the jungle too. I mean, there's just ward city over here for Cowbell. Glad they listened to me. Alright, damage coming in on Baron now. Let's see what kind of response we have here. Menard's rather out of position. So, going to be engaging a little bit later, I think, than they might want to. Prowler's ult is almost up. May not be able to get out in time. Good block snipe there, but Pig is going to go down in a second here. Alright, so they get 2, even though Cowbell got Baron. And it looks like option 12 is going to take advantage of the 2-man deficit to push mid.
Smart play. Finally take this mid lane tower, tier 2 down.
Might be able to get a little bit more too, though they do only have 15 seconds. Good Ezreal ult there, clear it out a little bit. Trying to put the damage out. I mean, it's important to remember that with Cowbell having 2 Earth Drakes as well, they're much better at pushing than option 12 is. And they're just forced to take 1 tower and go back. But if I'm option 12 here, I don't feel so terrible about how that went. Managed to get 2 kills to deny some of the Baron and get a turret out of it. Gold lead has been reduced down to just under 4k, so they've climbed up 1,000 gold.
No, they're definitely still in the running. And Caitlyn's getting ready to hit a huge power spike with the completion of her 3rd item.
And Kindred managed to get another kill. So, good for Lizmakis there. Up to 6 stacks now for Mark of Kindred. Looks like an aggressive push here toward this turret. Ezreal and Ashway trading some pokes there. Prowler's ult's also almost back up, will help with engaging. Mr. Pig's ult is also almost up. A lot of big AoE CCs in this game. Interesting teleport here. That does get them to back off.
Yeah, you don't want to give up another tower if you're option 12 right now.
Prowler decides to go shopping right there. It works out for him. And now a collapse, or attempted collapse on Shaken. But Ivern changed his mind and comes back. Another Drake. A lot of split pushing going on right now. Really interested to see how this prioritization is going to work out. Seems like they're willing to split into 2-1-1s or 1-2-2s, but I don't know. I feel like in this situation, maybe collapsing on one lane with a couple of people makes more sense than evenly splitting. If only just so that the casters know what to look at.
Oh yeah, well Hickey goes down in the mid lane to Caitlyn, Shaken not in the best position, but Prowler having to escape the giant monster that is Shaden right now.
Good ult there to clear a path for him to get out. Bot turret does go down in the process.
Yeah, the most synergist bot lane in the LCUS showing their true strength right now.
Really impressive that Brandana's only died once. But, of course, Shaden still has yet to be touched.
Well, when you're walking around with a professional wrestler as a bodyguard, it's difficult to do. Difficult to die.
Alright, so the next dragon will be another ocean. Well, ocean and earth for this. And, yeah, we'll just have to see where the tempo decides to go from here. Echo.
Sorry about that.
No problem. Alright, so just more farming going on here.
Well, option 12, after a strong early game, definitely got a little bit of a hole to climb out of right now, as we did see more Cowbell really prioritize the objectives and push in really hard, plus some silly strong team fighting once Shaden got the mix.
Yeah, absolutely. Gold lead is back up to 5k now, almost 6. A little bit of skirmish here in the mid lane. We'll see if Shaden's able to pick off Prowler here. 3 level advantage.
Yeah, rough right there. That and if you Shaden going in, trying to fight out Prowler.
Whole rest of his team's coming to help Prowler though. This could be where Shaden goes down. Or gets a solo ace. Does ult. Nope. Big shield though there. Goes immediately in on Menards. Menards does manage to get away. Great flash there. I think Shaden's going to go down here. Oh. Menards does die from Winions and DOT. Alright. Shaden's first death. But now let's see at what cost. With Menards down, there isn't a huge damage presence, especially since Marcus hasn't done too much. Turrets down, slow applied to Lismachus. Trying to make a run for it, does manage to get under the other turrets. Maybe able to get this inhibitor, but there is some low hit points to consider here. Alright, so they take the inhibitor and run.
Rough position.
Yeah.
You have to prioritize Shaden there because he would just push right into Nexus, but they left their whole bot side exposed.
And now we're at the LCUS danger mark where the gold lead is very close to 9k. Baron is going to be up in 14 seconds. Last, let's call it normal Drake, up in a minute and a half. And there's just a big level disparity as well that I'm looking at here. But it's interesting how it's set up. Like, you know, we got top lane's up by 2 levels. Bot lane support's up by 1 there with Ashway. A lot of good snare plays coming out of her today so far.
And you see this gold impact really hitting CB Hickey hard. He just completed his second item. We're 31 minutes into the game. So very, very bad positioning in terms of making sure your mid lane's taken care of.
Yeah, good slow and double knock up there. but nothing else really seems like it'll come out of it. And Shaden has now gotten an Archangel, or Guardian Angel, and is split pushing again. This split push will definitely help Cowbell secure Baron if they want it. I'm surprised Shaden's not going in for more damage. These recalls, he could have gotten, I'd say, you know, a quarter of the turret damage done. But decides to back up and rejoin his team, or perhaps just jungle some more. Because what does a Fed Renekton need? More gold.
Oh yeah, and it's basically a 1v9 situation with Shaden right now. 'Cause he's got that Guardian Angel zone.
More gold, less problems. Alright, Ocean Drake's now up, so 2 objectives are available, and option 12 is not really within radius to take any of them, due to being back into a little bit of a corner like this.
They do have good vision of Baron though, so they'll know if it's going down.
See what's happening here. Another little bit of a push in here. Looks like they're trying to collapse in on Shaden, but Shaden dashes away. Calls to take, looks like both objectives at the same time with Shaden soloing Dragon. But like you said, that vision working out for him, so they know this is going on. With Shaden soloing Dragon, it will be a 4v5. Might be able to get big here. They do. Alright, so they get 1 pick off. Do they try to go for Baron now? Nope. They're gonna, looks like they're gonna head back home.
Well, with that bot lane in the position it's in, you really don't have the advantage to push out that far.
Alright, 4 dragons to 1 now. Gold lead is 7k. Next dragon will be the Elder Drake. And the vision has not been refreshed. So for the foreseeable future, option 12 is going to be blind at the Baron pit. Not necessarily where you want to be, for no matter what position you're in the game. But that's where they're at right now, because they're really backed into a corner. But we'll see. Call out to try to collapse on Hickey, but Hickey just walks out.
Well, you see, they're not separating. They're staying together. They realize that team fighting is really their only hope.
Call that someone's got to get back down there and defend. No one's doing it.
Oh, they're refreshing that vision.
Good play there. As long as no one gets picked off here, I like that a lot. But Shaden's right there and really wants it. Good job slowing them down. But now, after chasing them off, they go straight on to Baron. And
that pressure.
Alright, let's see what happens. Menard's actually unable to join his team. Looks like they're sacrificing Baron. Maybe a little bit of disagreement about that. A couple of pings going off. But not as good of a reaction to Baron as they had the last couple of times. And now we're going to have a massive push down top lane. Possibly a 3v5 as well, as Truffle and Prowler are both taken down. Very painful.
Yeah, and we're at a 14k, sorry, a 10k gold difference. This could be it.
This looks like it will be. A lot of pickoffs here. Smakas is stalling with his ultimate. Getting a lot of damage off, it has to be said, but the durability and just overall gold advantage that Cowbell has cannot be ignored. And it looks as though they should be able to get it. Ashway soloing Brandana there for a minute. Not the best minion wave, but it doesn't matter with Baron buff.
We got 15 seconds left.
Yeah. Alright, let's see if Ivern respawning will help save the day. Alright, Shuffle. 3 seconds. Nope. Alright. So, after a very rough early game, Cowbell comes back and does what we all said people were hoping they'd do and take a game off option 12.
Man, oh man. A very exciting champ select leading into a a very stellar meta-enforcing victory for Cowbell.
Yeah, both Brandana actually did manage to outdamage Shaden there, despite Shaden's dominating early performance. Yeah, and Kindred actually did just get completely shut down. By the end of the game, Kindred had dealt less damage to champions than Ornn had.
Well, at 10 minutes, he was 4-0, and at the end of the game, he was 5-0. So didn't scale very well.
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll ask Nichols' thoughts on the game as well. So everyone please stay tuned. We'll be right back.